Hey, thank you everybody for showing up to the video chat, phone in thing last night. That was, um, I know it probably seems strange that I'm so excited about that, but that's just the type of person I am. All of my interactions with subscribers have been phenomenal. Actually, a couple from Seattle came down and took me out to lunch and just wanted to hang out and talk and I feel like I made friends. So like I said, I'm one of those people. I've always made friends in life, and when I'm just seeing typed words, there's energy behind words, but the not the energy that you get from hearing a voice, and seeing a face. And if you guys, this is important. If you guys want to call in and not show your face, that's okay. You know, the woman from Ireland, she didn't feel comfortable showing her face because, you know, um, for whatever reason. And that's okay. You know, so don't think that you have to show your face, but just hearing your voice and hearing the just how you use words, it's way different than seeing typed words. And this is something really to take in. Everybody that listens to this video, and most of you already know this, but think about words. Think about what's behind just a word. There's a symbol. Each letter is a symbol. And actually, those symbols, I mean, if you were to look up, like, the history behind the symbol for V in the English language, do it. You know, you'll be blown away. Like, it'll take you back, you know, thousands of years most likely. I mean, I don't even know. So, it's words are way more powerful than um, than we even know. All right, I'm moving on. Now, there's a couple things that were mentioned that I want to talk about. I saw somebody write, "Did Kurt or Chris ever introduce you to Catbutt?" Okay, so uh, before I ever, well, I had probably met Chris briefly in 1984, 85. But Dave Duet, the singer of Catbutt, sang in Girl Trouble for a little while. There's actually pictures. If you look up pictures of Girl Trouble, like old pictures of Girl Trouble, you'll see Dave in the photos. Anyway, so Dave used to hang out at the Hell House, and I met Dave when I was 15. Um, and to this day, I don't talk to him very much, but once in a while he'll maybe chime in on some post that I do, or I'll chime in on some post that he does. That's the great thing about Facebook. Anyway, he's still around. He's had some problems with his hand. One of his hands has been seriously injured over the years. But yeah, so again, going back to the beginning of lots of bands and lots of musicians, like the Hell House really was this first, one of the first center locations in the Northwest, that, I mean, in Seattle, of course, there were punk rock houses before that, but I don't really know much. I mean, that would be interesting to find out a little bit more. But yeah, so, and not many, I'm trying to think of Seattle bands that would come down at that time. It was a little bit of a dislocation, but actually, Mark Arm and I want to say somebody from the U-Men I know would come down. I met them there at the Hell House once. Also, they're Noxious Fumes. We played with Green River probably, if not their first show, their second show. It was at the Tropicana. There's that yellow flyer that was released with the on Record Store Day with the Green River live at the Tropicana, and it was the Melvins, Noxious Fumes, Green River, and I think March of Crimes. The U-Men were supposed to play, but they canceled. Okay, what else do I want to talk about? So, yeah, oh yeah, somebody else I wanted to mention that got their start at the Hell House is Donna Dresch. So, Donna played, I want to say, her very first band. She played bass in Noxious Fumes for a little while. She wasn't the original bass player. So she filled in for probably 6 months or something. But Donna, of course, went on to eventually do Team Dresch. But she was also in Dinosaur Jr. for at some point. She was in the Screaming Trees at some point. And in Danger Mouse. And also Kurt Flansburgh, who sang in The Grind, that would hang out with Tracy, was also in Danger Mouse. See, it's all like how everything ties together, you know. I just happen to know all this because I was there and I was very interested. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah. Somebody asked me, did Kurt ever go to the Hell House? Now, I'm going to guess no. I think I remember seeing Chris there. Because he would roadie for the Melvins, and he would go to shows at the Tropicana. That's where I first met Chris. And I did meet Chris, and I did talk to Chris back then. It was Chris liked Noxious Fumes. We did a couple shows with the Melvins when Chris was there. But anyway, so Kurt, at that time, so this is before Kurt Cobain was hanging out with Tracy Marander, and he would have been still in Aberdeen during the Hell House era. Now, he may have came up with the Melvins at some point. I'm not sure. It seems like he would have like mentioned something to me. Like we briefly talked about Noxious Fumes. I gave him a copy of the demo, or not demo. It was actually a tape released on K. And that was back in like 1988. I don't really remember the conversation, but I think that Kurt did go to the Tropicana with the Melvins, though, and I think it was a show that we played. I have to ask Buzz that, because Buzz would probably remember if Kurt went with Buzz. But Kurt was still in Aberdeen, so I would have been 14, 15, and Kurt would have been, 16, 17 years old. So he would have been, just getting out of high school, because he left like right before the end of high school. So at that point, he was trying to figure out what the fuck to do. He knew he wanted to play music. He already was playing guitar. So it was just a matter of like another year, really, where he was like, fuck Aberdeen, I'm out of here. I'd have to, that shit's documented, so you guys probably know better than I do. Anyway, so, yeah, that was just right when Kurt went to his first show. Would have been, 85. And I think would have been like the Tropicana, or as I had heard that he did go to a show with the Melvins. And Buzz introduced me, and I have a very vivid memory of this. But Buzz, there's somebody coming to the show with the Melvins, and I wish I could confirm this. I swear it was Kurt. I can confirm it. I just have to remember and ask Buzz when I briefly ever see him. Like the last time I saw him, I talked to him for 5 minutes. There were so many people backstage, and he was happy to talk, but again, it was like the after the show, and it was a whole room full of people. So anyway, and Fugazi. Okay, so when I first heard Fugazi, it would have been when the Community World Theater was open, because they played there, and there was a lot of hype about Ian MacKay's new band playing at the Community World Theater. So people were excited. The only problem is when we started to hear what they were like, and it was a downer, because this is 1987, and I was all about like killer fucking hardcore punk, or it just Fugazi. I don't know if it's just like stayed with me, like just not doing it for me at all, or what. But it was let down because I was such a Minor Threat fan. It was Minor Threat records that I'd play over and over again and learn like the beginning of In My Eyes, on the drums, or it was like trying to figure out. That's how I learned how to play fast. Nobody showed me. I listened to punk records, and specifically Minor Threat. For some reason, it made the most sense when I listened to, I think it was In My Eyes, and I can't exactly remember why that made the most sense, but I think because it starts slower, a little slower, then I noticed that he's just speeding the same beat up. So I realized, I could play that same beat. I could do it a little different, and then I could play fast. So that's how I learned how to play fast. Anyway, so thanks again, you guys. I want to do a live chat thing where people from India and wherever, Israel, the Middle East, Europe, United States. I gotta figure out a time. I'm guessing it's probably like about 9 in the morning or something when I'd have to do that. But yeah, I'm thinking like around, probably have to be about between 9 and noon, right? Okay, thanks so much. Again, yeah, cool.